It's Friday the 13th, the day where bad omens like black cats, getting bitten by snakes, walking under a ladder, and other events you need to watch out for. It's also a day for horror slasher Jason Voorhees, which takes over the Friday the 13th series. I haven't done reviews of any of the Friday the 13th movies this past holidays, so here we go. Over the years of the Jason movies, we've seen him going against a telekinesis teenager, ramping through New York, and going to hell. So the Friday the 13th final three films I'm going to review is Jason X, Freddy vs. Jason, and the 2009 reboot of Friday the 13th. Jason X is a 2001 American science fiction slasher film directed by Jason Isaac and written by Tom Farmer. It is the 10th installment of Friday the 13th franchise. It stars Lexa Doig, Lisa Ryder, Chuck Campbell, and Kate Horner in his fourth and final appearance as Jason Voorhees. The film is set in 2008, where mass murderer Jason Voorhees is captured by the United States government and held at the Crystal Lake Research Facility. By 2010, after numerous failed attempts to kill him, Roman LaFontaine, the head of the facility that suggests placing him in cryogenic stasis. Dr. Wimmer, played by David Cronenberg, yep, that's him, arrived with soldiers hoping to research further Jason's ability to heal from lethal wounds, as they believe it involves rapid cellular regeneration that can be replicated. Jason breaks free of his restraints, killing the soldiers of Dr. Wimmer. Roman lures him into a cryogenic pod, but he ruptures the pod with his machete, stabbing her in the abdomen. Cryogenic fluid spills into the sealed room, freezing them both. Almost 400 years later, Professor Brandon Lowe explored the abandoned Crystal Lake Research Facility, finding the frozen Jason and Roman. They bring aboard their spaceship, the Grendel, and revive Roman while leaving Jason in the morgue, believing him to be dead. He slowly melts and starts killing everyone on board. During a fight with KM, Jason is killed, but the onboard nanites regenerate him into a cyborg, only to finish what he started. Once I watched this, I understand why this movie was bad. I mean, the concept of having a serial killer in space is good, but the production, cast, and script is just terrible. I don't know any of the cast, still terrible to watch. Even the production looks like a direct-to-video sequel. The only two things I liked about this is David Cronenberg had a cameo and killed him in the first 5 minutes of the film. That sucks. The other thing is that Jason was so badass they upgraded him his form. But this one was weak in the franchise, and I wouldn't recommend to any Jason fans out there. Freddy vs. Jason is a 2003 American slasher film directed by Ronnie Yu and written by Damian Shannon and Mark Swift, featuring the characters Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street and Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, created by Wes Craven and Victor Miller, respectively. It's a crossover between the two franchises, serving as the 8th installment in the Nightmare on Elm Street series and the 11th installment in the Friday the 13th series. The film stars Monica Keena, Kelly Ronan, Jason Ritter, Christopher George Marquette, Ochin Munro, and Robert Englund reprising his role as Freddy from the previous films, while Ken Krisner takes the role as Jason Voorhees. Having been trapped in hell since the last defeat, Freddy Krueger can no longer invade children's dreams, as the adults of Springwood have gone extremes to forget about him by wiping public records and committing anyone who dreams of him to Western Hills Psychiatric Hospital. Using the last of his power, Freddy resurrects Jason Voorhees after his own defeat and appears as Jason's mother, Pamela Voorhees, to manipulate him into carrying out a massacre on Elm Street. The resulting fear will allow Freddy to regain his power again, but once Jason goes on a rampage in the real world, angering Freddy for his taking all his victims. This sets up a fight between the two, and that's why I love this film. The heavy metal music soundtrack, especially when Freddy fighting Jason, and having the two of my favorite killers in one movie. I mean, look at Freddy's moves. Gotta love it. The cast is not that great, especially Kelly Rowland, but some of the scenes crack me up and the kill scenes are just great. This gained popularity when they did a promo at the Las Vegas where Jason and Freddy they weigh in.
Gentlemen, please, at this time we would like to have the weigh-in. Could you please step backstage here behind it? Mr. Kruger, Mr. Voorhees, please. Back here, please.
Hilarious. Great movie for horror fans who want to see the two iconic characters duke it out. Friday the 13th is a 2009 American slasher film serving as a reboot and the 12th installment overall in the Friday the 13th franchise. It was produced by Sean S. Cunningham, the director of the original film, alongside Michael Bay, Andrew Form, and Brad Fuller, and their production company Platinum Dunes, known for producing remakes to original horror films like The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Amityville Horror, The Hitcher, and A Nightmare on Elm Street. It was directed by Marcus Nispel from a screenplay by Damian Shannon and Mark Swift. The film stars Jared Padalecki, Danielle Panabaker, Aaron Wu, Amanda Rigetti, Travis Van Winkle, and Derek Mears. The story follows 5 teenagers, Wade, Richie, Amanda, Mike, and Whitney, as they camp out at Crystal Lake, get high, and of course have sex. What else happens in Friday the 13th film, right? That night, an adult Jason kills everyone except Whitney, whom he captures and as she resembles his mother at a young age. 6 weeks later, Trent, his girlfriend Jenna, and friends Chelsea, Bree, Chewie, Nolan, and Lawrence arrive at Trent's summer cabin on shore of Crystal Lake. Meanwhile, Whitney's brother Clay Miller arrives at the lake to search for her, despite his local sheriff's plea to look elsewhere. Clay visits Trent's cabin and Jenna agrees to help him search for Whitney. Chelsea and Nolan go wakeboarding on the lake where Jason kills Nolan with an arrow and Chelsea with a machete. Meanwhile, Clay and Jenna search the old Crystal Lake campgrounds where they eventually see Jason hauling a body into the abandoned campground. Jenna and Clay run back to the cabin to warn others about Jason. From then on, Jason kills everyone one by one. Jason chases Clay and Jenna back to the campgrounds where Clay discovers Jason's underground lair and finds his sister, who is still alive. Clay frees Whitney and all 3 escape as Jason arrives. They find an exit, but Jenna is impaled by Jason's machete just before she can escape. Jason then corners Clay and Whitney inside a barn, where Whitney confuses Jason by pretending to be Pamela. Clay and Whitney subdue Jason with a chain as Whitney stabs him in the chest with his own machete. This was a good reboot to the film's franchise. I mean, the original was better, of course, but the idea of having modern teenagers fend off legendary Jason is a nice touch-up. There are rumors that a television series is in the works, giving us the origins of Jason at a Camp Crystal Lake, but we shall see how that will hold up in the future. This version is fun, creepy, and gruesome addition to the Friday the 13th franchise. Well, that's it for this year's movie reviews on the franchise. Happy Friday the 13th, everyone.